Ladies and gentlemen, the strength of a one-man army is not in its numbers, but in its conviction, vision, and unwavering faith. If you must walk alone to fulfill your destiny, walk boldly. Greatness is never the result of the crowd. It is always birthed in the heart of an individual. So stand firm, fight on, and let the world declare this was a one-man army. Thank you, Lord. True purpose is not discovered in the noise of the crowd, but in the silence of introspection. In a world consumed by constant activity and distraction, the most profound revelations about who you are and why you exist often come when you step away from the clamor. It is in solitude that your mind can sift through the clutter and your heart can listen to the whispers of destiny. Great men and women throughout history often retreated into seasons of isolation, not as a sign of weakness, but as a necessary phase of discovery. Moses encountered his calling in the wilderness. Martin Luther King Jr. crafted visions of equality in quiet moments of prayer and reflection. Even scientists and innovators have testified that their breakthroughs came in the stillness of solitary thought, where they could fully focus on the questions that mattered most. Solitude is an incubator for purpose, because it removes the distractions of external opinions. Too often, the voices of others cloud our judgment, causing us to live lives that align with their expectations rather than our calling. In solitude, you no longer seek validation from the world, because the only approval you need is the clarity of your purpose. The silence of introspection forces you to confront truths about yourself that may be uncomfortable. It strips away pretense and compels you to face your fears, insecurities, and potential. This process can be painful, but it is necessary for transformation. Purpose is not always obvious or easy to accept. It requires digging deep into your experiences, passions, and even your pain to unearth the treasure buried within. Moreover, solitude teaches you to trust yourself. In the absence of the crowd, you learn to lean on your inner convictions, sharpening your instincts and aligning your actions with your true self. It is in this space that creativity thrives, ideas flourish, and the courage to pursue them is born. Every visionary has passed through this crucible of isolation. It is not the crowd, but the quiet moments that shape leaders, dreamers, and world changers. It is where plans are made, resolve is strengthened, and a sense of destiny begins to take root. In solitude, you prepare to stand alone, not because you want to, but because you must if you are to carry the weight of your purpose. Every visionary leader begins as a solitary thinker. Vision is not born in boardrooms, consensus meetings, or the opinions of others. It is sparked in the mind and heart of an individual who dares to see what others cannot. The most powerful visions are deeply personal. They are planted in the soil of your soul by a higher purpose, cultivated through reflection and nourished by unwavering conviction. Your vision does not require a vote of approval because it is uniquely yours. It is not meant to be debated or diluted by the crowd's doubts and fears. Committees, while useful in executing plans, often serve as obstacles to the purity of a vision. They bring opinions that are shaped by limitations, past failures, and fears of the unknown. A committee may demand guarantees of success or immediate evidence of practicality, but visionaries do not operate within such confines. Vision is about seeing what is possible, not what is already proven. History is rich with examples of visionaries who had to walk alone because their ideas were too advanced for the understanding of their contemporaries. Thomas Edison was marked for his relentless pursuit of electric light, but he pressed on because he saw what others couldn't. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of equality seemed impossible in his era, yet he held on to it because he understood that his vision was not up for public vote. Even technological pioneers like Steve Jobs ignored the voices of naysayers who couldn't grasp his revolutionary ideas, choosing instead to follow the clarity of his vision. What you see in your heart doesn't need to be understood by everyone else. Visionaries are often misunderstood, and that misunderstanding is not a reflection of the vision's value, but of the limited perspective of those around them. The responsibility of a visionary is not to explain or convince, but to believe and act. Your vision is a compass, pointing you toward your destiny, even when no one else can see the direction. Committees may slow progress by adding layers of hesitation, but conviction will drive you forward with momentum. Visionaries know that hesitation can kill a dream before it even begins. When you act on conviction, you bypass the need for consensus and move directly into execution. This boldness to act sets visionaries apart, allowing them to create what others could only imagine. Vision is an intensely personal experience. It is a seed planted in isolation, watered by faith, and protected by resilience. Others may eventually join the journey, but they will only do so after the vision has been birthed and proven. The process begins with the solitary individual who dares to trust what they see, even when no one else does. Great leaders and creators recognize that vision doesn't come with a manual or a guarantee of support. It demands courage to walk alone, to take risks, and to defy convention. It is not their task to wait for approval or understanding, but to move forward with unwavering determination, knowing that the power of a vision lies not in the numbers it convinces, but in the belief of the one who carries it. The world celebrates the spotlight, but often forgets the process. What we see as success, the grand accomplishments, the public recognition, the moments of triumph, is merely the tip of the iceberg. Beneath it lies a massive foundation of unseen effort, quiet perseverance, and relentless dedication. The journey to greatness begins not in the limelight, but in the shadows, where no one is watching, applauding, or even aware of the work being done. Success is birthed in these hidden places, in the hours when others are asleep or distracted. It is forged in the moments when you choose discipline over comfort, persistence over procrastination, and focus over distraction. The shadows are where skills are sharpened, as repetition refines your abilities and consistency builds your competence. These are the hours no one counts, the sacrifices no one sees, and the efforts that rarely receive immediate rewards. Yet, it is precisely this process that separates those who dream of greatness from those who achieve it. Character is built in the shadows, not in the applause of the crowd. It is in these unseen moments that you confront your weaknesses, push past your limitations, and develop the inner strength to carry the weight of success. Shadows are the testing ground, the place where you learn resilience by facing setbacks and failures without the safety net of public encouragement. The lessons learned here are invaluable because they prepare you for the inevitable challenges that accompany success. In the shadows, you cultivate habits that will sustain you in the spotlight. Habits of discipline, focus, and perseverance are not formed in moments of ease, but in seasons of struggle. The quiet hours spent honing your craft, studying your field, and perfecting your methods are the investments that will yield returns when the world finally takes notice. Every great musician, athlete, entrepreneur, or leader has spent countless hours practicing, strategizing, and refining in solitude before ever stepping onto a stage or into a position of influence. The shadows are also a place of purification. They strip away superficial motives and reveal your true reasons for pursuing your goals. Without the applause of the crowd or the validation of recognition, you are forced to ask yourself, why am I doing this? This self-reflection is crucial because it ensures that your foundation is built on authenticity and purpose rather than the fleeting approval of others. Resilience is formed in the shadows because it is in these hidden spaces that you learn to endure. When there is no one cheering you on, when progress feels slow or invisible, and when the temptation to give up is strongest, you develop the mental toughness needed to keep going. Shadows teach you to rely not on external validation, but on your internal drive and the clarity of your vision. Every accomplishment that seems effortless in the spotlight is the result of tireless effort in the shadows. The grace of a dancer, the precision of a surgeon, the eloquence of a speaker, and the ingenuity of an innovator are all products of countless hours of unseen work. While the world may marvel at the outcome, only those who are prepared in the shadows truly understand the price that was paid to achieve it. Shadows are where you refine your identity, define your purpose, and strengthen your resolve. They are a crucible, a hidden place where you are tested and transformed. Without this process, success will be hollow, fleeting, and unsustainable. Greatness requires the patience to endure the shadows, the discipline to thrive in them, and the wisdom to recognize their value. Being a one-man army doesn't mean rejecting people or cutting yourself off from the world. It means having the courage to embrace the strength required to walk alone when the path demands it. Solitude is not about loneliness, seclusion, or self-imposed exile. It is about creating a sacred space where you can focus, reflect, and align your actions with your purpose. It is a deliberate choice to step back from the noise and demands of others so that you can gain clarity, direction, and strength. In solitude, you find the freedom to hear your own thoughts, undistorted by the opinions, expectations, or influences of others. It is a time to recalibrate, to listen to the inner voice that often gets drowned out in the chaos of daily life. Solitude is where you confront yourself, your fears, doubts, and dreams, and gain the insight necessary to take your next steps with confidence. Solitude allows you to evaluate who truly belongs on your journey. When you are constantly surrounded by people, it's easy to lose sight of who is there for the right reasons and who is merely along for the ride. In the quiet of solitude, you can discern the difference between those who add value to your life and those who drain it. You gain the clarity to identify the individuals who share your vision, align with your values, and contribute meaningfully to your mission. This season of being alone is not permanent, it is preparatory. Solitude is the forge in which your character, purpose, and vision are strengthened, making you ready to connect with the right people at the right time. It is not about building walls, but about setting boundaries that protect your energy and focus. When you step away from the crowd, you are better equipped to return with a sharper sense of who you are and what you need from those around you. Solitude is also a space for creativity and innovation. Many of the greatest ideas, breakthroughs, and masterpieces have been birthed in solitude. In the absence of distractions, your mind can explore possibilities and solutions that were previously out of reach. The solitary thinker is not isolated, but engaged in a deep and meaningful dialogue with their own potential. The strength found in solitude is what sustains you when challenges arise. It is in solitude that you learn to rely on your inner resources rather than external validation. This self-reliance is not about pride, but about resilience, about knowing that even if no one else stands with you, you are equipped to move forward. Solitude equips you to lead, not by removing people from your life, but by ensuring that your purpose remains the driving force behind your relationships and decisions. Solitude is not about rejecting connection, but about refining it. It gives you the time and space to understand yourself fully so that the connections you do make are authentic and meaningful. It teaches you that while others may walk with you, your journey is uniquely yours, and there will be times when no one else can take the steps you must take. Solitude empowers you to stand strong in those moments, not as an isolated individual, but as a focused and purposeful one. The strength of solitude lies in its ability to center you. It removes distractions, clarifies priorities, and strengthens your resolve. It is not a rejection of others, but a commitment to yourself, your purpose, and the mission you are called to fulfill. Solitude prepares you for the moments when you must walk alone, not as an act of defiance, but as a testament to your dedication and focus. If you are doing something no one has done before, prepare for opposition. Innovation, creativity, and bold steps into uncharted territory often provoke discomfort in others. The lone path is frequently misunderstood, not because it lacks merit, but because it challenges the norms and expectations that people are accustomed to. Trailblazers, by their very nature, break the mold, and in doing so, they invite scrutiny, doubt, and often outright resistance. Criticism is an inevitable companion for those who dare to lead. It is the natural byproduct of moving ahead while others remain stationary. Critics tend to emerge when you defy convention because your progress exposes their fears, insecurities, and limitations. For many, it is easier to attack what they do not understand than to consider the possibility of change. This is why the most visionary thinkers, inventors, and leaders have faced relentless opposition before their ideas gain acceptance. History is replete with examples of trailblazers who endured fierce criticism. When Galileo championed the idea that the earth revolved around the sun, he was condemned by his peers and persecuted by powerful institutions. When Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a bus, she faced backlash for her quiet act of defiance, yet her courage sparked a movement. Critics often label trailblazers as dreamers, rebels, or even failures, not because they lack value, but because they challenge the status quo. The lone path is not an easy one to walk, but it is a necessary one. Criticism, while painful, is often a sign that you are doing something significant. If everyone agrees with you, it is likely that you are not innovating or challenging anything. True trailblazing requires boldness, and boldness inevitably stirs reactions. Some will mock you, others will question you, and many will doubt you, but their voices do not determine the validity of your vision. Critics are often people who cannot see what you see. They lack the perspective, insight, or courage to embrace the possibilities that your vision represents. Their opposition is less about you and more about their own inability to imagine a reality beyond their current understanding. In this sense, criticism is not a reflection of your failure, but a confirmation that you are treading new ground. The criticism you face as a trailblazer can take many forms. It may come as skepticism from friends, discouragement from colleagues, or outright hostility from those who feel threatened by your success. Regardless of its source, criticism can be painful, but it is also instructive. It forces you to evaluate your convictions, refine your ideas, and strengthen your resolve. Every challenge posed by a critic is an opportunity to deepen your commitment to your path. Criticism is also a measure of influence. People do not waste time criticizing what does not matter. If your actions are stirring emotions, sparking debate, or provoking reactions, it is because they have weight and significance. Critics are often the first to recognize the potential of your work, even if they express it through resistance. Their objections are less about your failure and more about their fear of what your success could mean. Trailblazing requires a thick skin and an unshakable focus on your mission. The noise of critics must not distract you from the voice of purpose that drives you forward. Understand that opposition is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. It is a sign that you are on a path others have not dared to take. Criticism is the friction that comes with progress, the resistance that arises when you push against the grain. It is the price of pioneering, and every step you take in the face of it strengthens your legacy. Criticism is not the end of the trailblazer, it is the beginning. It marks the point where you leave the crowd and step into the unknown. It is the challenge that separates those who dream from those who dare, those who hesitate from those who act. Trailblazers understand that the road they walk will not always be smooth, but they walk it anyway, because the vision ahead is worth more than the comfort of staying behind. When you walk alone, faith becomes your greatest ally. In moments of solitude, when the road ahead seems uncertain and the obstacles appear insurmountable, it is faith that provides the strength to press forward. Faith is not simply belief, it is the assurance of things unseen, the evidence of things hoped for. It is the quiet confidence that your journey has meaning even when the path is unclear, and that every step you take is guided by a purpose greater than yourself. Faith is what allows you to keep moving when doubt threatens to paralyze you. The solitary journey often feels like walking through a dense fog where the destination is obscured. It is faith that assures you the path exists even when you cannot see it. Faith gives you the courage to take the first step, the resolve to take the next, and the perseverance to continue when challenges arise. It reminds you that what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen holds the true promise of fulfillment. For a one-man army, faith is the fuel that sustains both vision and action. Without faith, the challenges of isolation, criticism, and uncertainty would be overwhelming. But faith transforms these challenges into opportunities to grow stronger and more resilient. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, the unshakable belief that a higher power walks with you, that your purpose is divinely orchestrated, and that every moment of struggle is preparing you for the promise ahead. Faith teaches you to rely not on the strength of numbers, but on the certainty of purpose. The world often values visible signs of support, large teams, abundant resources, and external validation. But a one-man army knows that the greatest victories are not won by what is seen, but by what is believed. Faith anchors you in the knowledge that you are never truly alone, even when you appear to stand by yourself. It is faith that transforms fear into fortitude. Walking alone can be intimidating, but faith replaces fear with assurance. It tells you that the challenges you face are not there to break you, but to shape you. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to deepen your trust, refine your character, and strengthen your commitment to the journey. Faith gives you the courage to face uncertainty, the strength to endure adversity, and the confidence to keep going when others would give up. Faith also grants you perspective. It reminds you that your journey is part of a larger plan, one that extends beyond what you can see in the moment. This perspective allows you to endure temporary setbacks, knowing that they are stepping stones toward a greater purpose. It helps you see failure not as the end, but as a necessary part of the process, a lesson that prepares you for the success to come. For a one-man army, faith is the unseen force that propels you forward. It is not passive but active, a force that compels you to take action even when the outcome is uncertain. Faith empowers you to dream boldly, act courageously, and persist relentlessly. It reminds you that the journey is not just about reaching the destination, but about becoming the person who is capable of achieving it. Faith is also deeply personal. It is not something that can be borrowed from others or imposed by external circumstances. It must be cultivated within, nurtured by reflection, prayer, and a deep connection to the divine. It grows strongest in moments of solitude when you have no one else to lean on and must rely entirely on the power of belief. It is in these moments that faith becomes more than a concept, it becomes the foundation upon which your journey is built. Faith fuels the journey by reminding you that the challenges you face are not signs of defeat, but evidence that you are on the right path. It assures you that the struggles are temporary, but the rewards are eternal. Faith gives you the strength to carry on, not because you can see the outcome, but because you trust in the process. It is the quiet, steady force that sustains you when the journey feels too difficult to continue. Though the journey may begin in solitude, its impact reaches far beyond the individual who first walked it. The path carved by the one-man army becomes a highway for others to follow, and the sacrifices made in silence create opportunities for multitudes to thrive. Legacy is not about immediate recognition or personal accolades. It is about the enduring fruits of a life lived with purpose. It is the mark you leave on the world that echoes long after you are gone, shaping the lives of those who come after. Every seed sown in solitude has the potential to grow into something far greater than the one who planted it. In the quiet moments of struggle, discipline, and perseverance, a foundation is being laid for others to build upon. The one-man army may appear alone in the present, but their efforts create ripples that expand outward, touching lives they may never meet. Like a tree that grows tall and wide, the work done in isolation provides shelter, shade, and nourishment for countless others. The legacy of the lone warrior is often misunderstood during their lifetime. Their actions, ideas, and vision may seem out of place or even unnecessary to those who lack the foresight to see their impact. Yet history proves time and again that the efforts of one individual can reshape the destiny of nations, communities, and even the world. Think of those who stood alone to fight for justice, challenge convention, or create innovations that seemed impossible. Their names are etched in history not because they sought fame, but because their work laid the groundwork for progress. The sacrifices of a one-man army are rarely seen or appreciated in the moment, but they are essential for creating a legacy that lasts. To pave a way for others often means enduring hardship, rejection, and isolation. It means taking the first steps into unknown territory, facing challenges without the safety of a crowd, and continuing forward even when there is no visible reward. These sacrifices, though difficult, are what give legacy its depth and meaning. Legacy is not confined to physical accomplishments or material success. It is the values you uphold, the principles you defend, and the courage you demonstrate in the face of adversity. It is the inspiration you provide to others through your example, showing them that greatness is possible even when the odds are against you. Legacy is about planting seeds in a field you may never see harvested, trusting that the work you do today will benefit generations to come. The one-man army understands that their journey is about more than themselves. They are building something greater than their own success, a platform upon which others can stand. Their perseverance sets a standard, their vision lights a path, and their resilience creates a foundation. Every struggle, every victory, and every lesson learned becomes a part of the legacy they leave behind. Legacy is also about empowerment. The lone warrior's journey paves the way for others to believe in their own potential. The courage it takes to stand alone inspires others to do the same. The risks taken in solitude encourage others to take risks of their own. In this way, the one-man army multiplies their impact, turning their individual efforts into a movement that transforms lives. Though the work begins alone, the fruits of that labor belong to many. The tree that grows from a single seed does not serve only itself. It provides shade for the weary, fruit for the hungry, and branches for the birds to nest. In the same way, the legacy of the one-man army becomes a source of strength, hope, and opportunity for those who come after. Every challenge overcome, every dream pursued, and every step taken in faith contributes to a future that is brighter and more abundant than the present. The lone warrior's legacy outlives them because it is rooted in purpose and cultivated with unwavering commitment. It is not about temporary recognition, but about creating a lasting impact that endures across time. It is the gift of a life lived with intention, courage, and selflessness, ensuring that the path they walk becomes a blessing for generations yet to come. Ultimately, while it may feel like you're doing it alone, remember that you are never truly alone. In moments of solitude, when the path seems most isolating, it is easy to fall into the trap of feeling completely alone. Yet, the truth is that you are not alone. Divine presence walks with you, guiding your steps, offering strength when you are weak, and providing comfort when you are weary. This divine presence is not a distant concept, but a living, breathing reality that aligns with your purpose and sustains your journey. When you embark on a path of purpose, you are connected to a power greater than yourself. This is not merely a spiritual idea, but a profound truth that changes the way you face challenges and persevere in the face of adversity. Unseen forces, whether you call them divine, spiritual, or simply the universal energy, work in harmony with your efforts, aligning events, opening doors, and creating opportunities that would otherwise be impossible. This partnership with the divine turns what seems like isolation into a divine alignment, transforming the solitary journey into a shared endeavor with something infinitely greater than the self. In solitude, you realize that you are not alone, you are divinely accompanied. The presence of a higher power means that you are not just relying on your own strength, but on the wisdom, guidance, and direction of something bigger. This partnership provides not just a sense of support, but a source of empowerment. The divine presence walks beside you, whispering encouragement, offering insight, and fortifying your resolve. It turns your solitary efforts into a divine mission, infusing your work with a sacred purpose that is beyond the physical realm. When you partner with that divine power, you become unstoppable. The isolation that feels so daunting transforms into an opportunity to draw closer to this higher force. Solitude is no longer a place of loneliness, but a sanctuary where your connection with the divine is deepened and strengthened. The challenges that once felt burdensome are now seen as opportunities for growth, tests of faith, and invitations to trust in something greater. The divine presence in your life does not remove obstacles, but equips you to overcome them. This divine partnership also shapes your understanding of success. It moves you beyond the limitations of personal achievement to a broader view of purpose and impact. The one-man army becomes a vessel of divine will, an instrument through which a higher power works to bring about positive change in the world. In this partnership, every step forward, every breakthrough, and every victory is infused with a sense of grace, knowing that you are not alone in your efforts. Faith in divine presence becomes a constant source of strength. It shifts your perspective from one of isolation to one of inclusion. The divine presence transforms solitude into a place of power, where you can be still and know that you are surrounded by a force far greater than yourself. This presence is not merely a spiritual comfort, but a tangible, active force in your life, guiding your decisions, shaping your character, and aligning your purpose with the divine will. In this divine partnership, you find the strength to keep moving forward. The one-man army is not truly alone, because they are always accompanied by a higher power. This companionship empowers you to face challenges with courage, embrace opportunities with conviction, and step into the unknown with confidence. The divine presence becomes your ally, offering unwavering support, wisdom, and direction. It is the force that turns isolation into a shared journey, turning the solitary warrior into a channel of divine purpose and unstoppable potential.